Oh, good. Yeah. We support each other. Hi, Simon. Well, good afternoon. How's everyone doing today? Doing well. Awesome, awesome. Already the second week of January, right? Shoot, we still got 12 more months at the end of 2023, 2023, right? So thank you again. I appreciate you all. I want to see the energy as we spearhead our team meeting. So let's go ahead and get started. Bob, what? What did I do? I wasn't even here that day. You didn't do anything, but the command presence of your voice, if you could start us off with our mission, please.
Our mission is to provide agents with a place where they can be empowered, trained, and motivated to experience growth, wealth, and a legacy that allows them to live their best life possible. Our belief is that when the values of your or our company align with your or our own beliefs, you know you find your professional home.
Beautiful. All right. And our vision is to achieve amazing professionals and personal development so that KW South Bay remains the agency of choice. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Let's continue. Next slide. All right. So we want to congratulate all of the new January agents that joined KW South Bay. Hey. Yeah, Brian, Nelly, Don, John, Arthur, Mohammed as well. So congratulations. We announced you last week, my friends. So thank you for being part of our family. We're so honored to be in business with you. All right. Right on. And who's this guy right here? Yeah. There's a scene that I see him dancing, and I try to duplicate that, and I can never get it right. I just love how he does that dance. All right, next slide, please. All right, so I want to introduce you to the 2023 ALC. Look at this. Isn't this amazing? Wow. We got Aaron Alcides, Alabama, Amy, Bob, Walaka, Christina Blue, Fred Howard, awesome. Gary Nix, Jay Tan, Camille Wire, Lamar, Michelle Brown, Tammy Fisher, and the entire leadership team. So we are so humble, so grateful that we got the best of the best that are spearheading the South Bay office with awesome leadership. So thank you all for contributing. It's going to be an amazing 2023. So we're definitely honored to be in business with all these phenomenal top agents in our office, and I just love it. I love it. So these individuals will be a support to all of us here, you know, so it's an awesome thing. All right, and they're actually going to be at a retreat this weekend. So it's awesome if you ever want to be part of the ALC.
Where are you going?
Yeah, where we're going to be in San Pedro for a retreat.
It's a non-disclosed location.
Yeah, there you go.
It's Hawaii.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it's not this or planet 10. That's right. It's flat, right? Awesome. All right, I want to bring Michelle Brown. I'm super excited and very thrilled to introduce you to this new launch of 72 Sold. You know, Michelle has been spearheaded, been involved in webinars, training, and it's an awesome thing to really be part of. And it's now on a national broadcast. So without further ado, Michelle Brown.
So what can I tell you? It's 72 Sold is a partnership. It's a program from an independent company that Gary Keller vetted out thoroughly and partnered with when they have had huge success in Arizona with the 72 Sold program. In Arizona, 72 Sold is a real estate firm, and the agents that work under that broker, Greg Haig, work with the 72 Sold logo. But through collaboration and a lot of meetings and Gary Keller vetting him out thoroughly, they've created this partnership where we're now allowed to deliver that program to our clients as well. It's a very non-traditional way of selling real estate that is so much fun. and we've had great success with it. There's, I don't want to go into all of the training and everything here because you can go online. You can go onto the Zoom calls without being a member yet, if you want to, on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings at 8 o'clock and kind of listen in and hear what the theories and the philosophies and everything are all about. Everyone on our team paid $192 to join and we have access to the program. And then it's $72 a month to stay active as a member with the 72 Sold program. But that brings us into their portal where all the marketing pieces are already done for you. And all of the flyers, all of the videos that you can email or text or send to your database or put on social media, it's all done. I mean, it's just a beautiful thing. And then if you participate at a very high level and contribute towards the ad campaign, some of you, if you're football fans like, you know, us Texans, church, we started our advertising campaign on Sunday through some of the seed playoff games, and it was just amazing. And what I did not know is that when you advertise on television, and some of us have done, you know, TV or radio ads before, they will vet your program out and see that you're legitimate and see what kind of success you have. When you advertise during NFL playoffs and NFL games, the NFL also has to approve it, and they have to look at independent studies to make sure that, you know, what you're claiming you have done, you have had success with, and that those are true statements that they're putting on the air. So it went right through the NFL and we got approved for to put those commercials out. I will tell you that everyone on our team, as I said, paid the $192 to join. Everyone was highly trained and certified so that when we go on appointments, as Gary Keller has always said with all of the systems work if you do, and if you stick with the system and don't try to customize it or make it your own, because it's proven to work. And we've had 5 referrals from 72 Sold. One of those we actually did on our own with the Do-It-Yourself program. The Do-It-Yourself program doesn't require that you make the ad contribution for the national advertising campaign, but we're also on the morning news and the evening news on ABC, CBS, and NBC. But you don't have to do that part. You can do the 192 to join and the 72 a month and get all the marketing materials and do it yourself. So we started doing that after Mega Camp, and we had 2 listings, both that sold. Mega Camp was in August, and we had 2 listings that came from that campaign, and both of those sold. It's really an 8-day program. The 72 Sold is the 3-day weekend that you're showing. There's no open houses. It's a whole thing. I don't want to go into all that because we don't have time for me to talk. It'll take 2 days. So anyway, with the campaign that came on Sunday, we received 3 leads, and we've made appointments with 3 of those. We had to refer one out because it was for Orange County, and we referred it to an agent and it's a co-op property. So we referred it to an agent that specializes in that down there. So we get a referral fee on that. And the other 2 that came in, we made appointments with. We listed one on Tuesday. The second one, our appointment is for Saturday morning. So I'm confident that we'll probably be listing that too. So if you have questions or want more information, call or text or ask me. If I don't get right back to you, don't tattle, just sign in. Because it's really it's going to take me a minute to get back to you.
This is a great opportunity if you do have questions you'd like to ask, because I know that we get in the trenches in our business, you may forget. So this is an opportunity to, ask Michelle anything regarding 72.
Michelle, the ROI on it so far is worthwhile.
Absolutely.
Not a question at all.
Not a question at all. The ROI is a return on investment, in case you don't know that.
And if you're skeptical, the 192 and the DIY is a good place to start, because you have all of the materials that they use. The only thing that you're missing is the referral from the TV commercials. So you still can do Facebook, you still can do Instagram with all of their products.
Right. The referral from the TV commercials goes to 72 Sold first. And they send an immediate text to that person. That person has to put in their name, address, phone number, and what they think the value of their house is, and if it needs improvement or not. That goes to 72 Sold first. And then they push it out to whoever the agents are who are paying for the advertising in the area where that home is located. But there's still some glitches in that. That's how we ended up with an Orange County referral. And ordinarily with our probate attorneys, we would work that, but we don't know that particular property. It's kind of like a leisure world, but it's in Orange County, so we referred that out. So, but the do-it-yourself part of the program that does not require you to pay part of the advertising, which is not that expensive for national TV. It's like $1,500 a month.
Gotcha.
And but so if you are on the TV ads and they send that their form in, then 72 Sold pushes it out. I had a text from them from 72 Sold within probably 10 minutes of the one that they sent, and I replied by text, which is part of the system. And then the guy starts answering me back, and we made appointments to go on Monday to list it. So, but the do-it-yourself part, that $192 with the $72 a month, I'm telling you guys, there's no better marketing system in the world than what this team and this company has put together for you. The flyers, the videos, the commercials, everything you have access to do it yourself, and then you don't owe them the 25% referral fee that we owe them for the referral that they sent from the commercial. So, but it's still, the numbers work beautifully. We're very, very excited.
So you're paying ad dollars and then a referral fee as well.
Yes.
Got it.
It's only 25% referral fee.
Gotcha.
And the advertising dollars is not a long-term commitment. You decide each month, if you have enough listings and you have enough business and you don't want to participate in February, you don't send your $1,500 in for February and you turn it back on in March.
Yeah.
If you go 2 or 3 months without it, they're going to sell your seat to somebody else and you won't have the option to read it.
Gotcha.
But right now, and this company is totally transparent. I mean, if you need the login, ask Fred or me, text me for the login. Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings at 8 o'clock. They go for about an hour, and then there's about an hour of Q&A. And a lot of people that are on this call are not members yet, but it'll really answer some questions that you have and sum these things out for you.
And then also, the market center gets a percentage also from the ad campaign. So it's not just them getting the 1,500 and we pay the 25%. The office also gets a
Part of that 25%.
Part of that 25%. So
Beautiful. Michelle, I have one more question. Do you get to pick the area that you choose, or it's a brand?
There are zones.
There's
Yeah,
zones.
there
Okay. Can you explain how that works?
Yes, there are zones. The zones are not like anything that you see with the regions, you know, like we're part of Keller Williams Sports and Entertainment Division, and that those referrals come by the KW regions, the 32 regions that we have. The zones that 72 Sold has were given to them by the MSIs, the people that sell media, because it's where the advertising is. So you pick your zone of where ABC, NBC, CBS is. And so from Long Beach to San Diego is not included in zone 32, but that's from Long Beach down through Orange County up to San Diego is a zone. I forgot the zone number. And then from San Pedro up to Calabasas is another zone. So we selected both of those zones, but then once you do that, you go in and put your zip codes that you specialize in. And so they try to glean it on down to the zip code right above.
So what I understand is they've calculated everything to make it very transparent.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you that Greg Haig, if you email him a question or directly, which is Greg at 72sold.com, 70sold, or you put your Q&A in during they are back. You know, Jennifer has questions about things that come up, and when we sit in calls, and she'll put it in Q&A, or if Q&A is really packed with a lot of questions, because sometimes there's 12 people on those calls. And you don't have to like be dressed in makeup on because they don't turn on camera. So no. If the Q&A is really full of questions, then she will just go ahead and email support at 72sold.com, and usually before we get off the phone, she's got a response.
So you have a team, and how it works with a team?
With our team,
Yeah, like each one pay the 100 plus the 75, or only, you know?
our team all pay the 192 to join, and they pay the 72 a month, and then they have They got certified, so they have the certification, because we want to be sure that we're presenting the program and managing the system the way it's meant to be. So you don't, it's a non-traditional kind of listing presentation. You don't go in with your typical catered listing. It's a whole different ball of wax. But when the leads come, Jennifer and I are the ones that pay the ad dollars. So if a lead comes in from our do-it-yourself campaign, because we have flyers that we mail to expires and cancels and all that stuff, if a lead comes in from that, then Jennifer and I will manage that, and we'll have someone else on the team help us and split that accordingly, depending on what it is and how much they're participating. When it comes in from the TV ad, if we have to refer it out, like we did to Orange County, that's in a portal that 72 Sold sees, and we're to refer it to somebody who paid for the ad campaign, right? So that they get those referrals too. And we can decide if we want to get a referral fee from them or not. The gentleman in Orange County that took the one that we referred out this weekend, that's a co-op like Leisure World. So we're talking about a 400,000 condo and 25% referral fee. He'll now pay to 72 Sold, and we're not taking one because it's just, yeah, Jennifer just asked him to reciprocate, but he gets the meeting right up here. Yeah.
The pre-created content that they have, is it customizable for your own brand?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's customizable.
Uh-huh.
They recommend you don't put your brand on there, just your broker. We have to do that.
Sure.
But this is a very corporate looking new and better ways. Their motto, a new and better ways of real estate. So it's all branded as 72 Sold. Your name, your phone number, you can customize that on there.
Sure.
And our broker logo is required on there.
Sure.
But they don't. Most people that we've talked to, when we go on the listing, they're not surprised to find out that we're with Keller Williams, when we do, but they called us because it looks like a non-traditional way to list the property.
Okay.
And that's what the TV commercials say too, that it's a new and better way. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Could it be added a Spanish meeting?
You know what, that came up this morning. If there is anything that's Spanish, any of the videos or anything that are in Spanish or other languages, not yet. But they are, it's in the works, okay. But not yet. Yeah. Okay.
Any other questions?
Here's my.
All right, thank you so much. Interesting platform, right? And it's I believe it's being broadcast with the NFL and I think also baseball, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the two sports. So yeah.
But Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, it's on the morning and evening news.
Okay.
On CBS, ABC, and NBC.
Beautiful. Awesome. Good information. Thank you so much, Michelle.
Sure.
All right, let's get Brett Howard up here.
Now let's try it, Simon.
All right.
Whose house is this? Now y'all are weak. Come on. Whose house is this? Oh, come on now, listen. Our years is starting off great, okay? As we start off, and I need to let you know, if you don't do anything, that $192 and $72 a month is an awesome investment, okay? Talk to Michelle, talk to me. That is an investment that you do not want to miss out on. Listings already, okay? Hello. So make that happen. Listen, we're going to be talking about success. I'm not going to go into it all. If you want to hear all about it, just check on my Instagram because I'm going to do a whole thing on it, okay? But success. When we talk about success means planning and goal setting. That's what we're doing with Ignite. So even if you've taken Ignite before, you need to take it again, okay? Because planning and goal setting, that's what we do our 135 and our 411. Our productivity class, they turn in their 411 every single month. That's what we started this year, okay? Our 135 we started on last year. And so now we're going to keep you connected to your goals, okay? But then not only that, but you also have to have hard work and perseverance. So hard work and perseverance is wonderful because you can't say I'm not getting nothing if you're not doing anything. Okay, you can say I don't have any business and you're not doing your lead generation. You can't complain about your mentor or your coach if you're not doing the necessary dollar producing activities in order to get business and put money in your pocket. Even though I've been with KW for 18 years, I always refer back to my first year because that's what keeps me motivated. My first year, 2005, from May to December, I made $136,000 in my pocket after my 30% to the office, and I was rookie of the year. And if I could do that 18 years ago, you can do that in 2000. What is it? 23. Is it 2000? I'm old. I'm old. So if I can do that then, you can do that now. Okay? Yes. Four listings. In 3 months. Wasn't it 3 months? Yes. In 3 months. And so, 3 birds. Although we reinvent ourselves, the only thing we do is we just change the name, and we go from Kodak to memory card. You understand? We don't make excuses. We make it happen. Okay, so this is what we're saying. Our productivity class meets every Wednesday except for the first Wednesday of every month. The first Wednesday of every month, with the exception of this Wednesday, we meet with the mentors. So I'll be meeting with the mentors today, and then every month thereafter, we meet with them on the first of every month. And our mentees meet every Wednesday at 1:30. So we want to make sure that you stay on board, stay encouraged, stay uplifted. Listen, whether you make $1 or whether you make $1 million, people in this office will talk to you. So you don't do anything by yourself, okay? So I want to keep you guys encouraged, keep yourself lifted up. And the last thing I wanted to say is learn from your failures, okay? So if you're not getting any leads, that's a failure. Learn from it. That means do something, right? Gotcha. Okay, I'm done.
There was something that Fred said that really resonated to me right now was the word perseverance. And how many have read the one book by Gary Keller?
The One Thing?
The One Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a little phrase that says, if you chase 2 rabbits, you will not catch either one. If you chase 2 rabbits, you will not catch either one. Okay, what does that mean in your opinion?
Focus.
Staying focused, staying on track, and focus on that one thing. Okay, the one thing right now as we venture into 2023 is what?
Lead generate.
Lead generation. Okay, lead generation will open up opportunities. It'll give you those breakthroughs. It's not easy. There's challenges, there's struggles, but if you continue pressing forward, I promise you, you will see results. Okay, so I just wanted to share. So thank you for adding that. So awesomeness. All right, next slide, please. Thank you, Fred. 1:30, right?
1:30.
All right, is Chris Rivera. Let's give Chris a round of applause. Happy New Year, my friend.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year, guys. Yeah, that's right. It is. And girls. Sorry. Sorry. Everyone. God, it's a rough crowd.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Anyway, Happy New Year to everyone, right? I'm really excited about 2023 because 2022 was really bad. I'm going to say it, sorry for my French, but it sucked. It really did. 22 is gone. It's over. 23 looks very promising. It does. It looks great. Interest rates. I told you at the end of last year about the fourth quarter that rates were going to start to slide after we hit 7%, right? It was ugly. 7% was the highest number we'd seen in quite some time. Rates have slid since then. We're now at about 6.25 on a 30-year fix, depending on loan amount, loan to value, FICO score. But they've slid now. Now we're seeing them in the low 6s. And I'm telling you, like I told you then, we're going to see them in the 5s. See them in the high 5s probably within the next month or two. There's been 2 reportings of inflation, both on October's and November numbers that came out late last year, and that's the reason why rates started to slide. December numbers are coming out tomorrow. Those are going to be promising. The core rate, which we look at, is at 6%. Now that was at about 6.7, 6.8, it slid all the way to 6%. We anticipate that tomorrow getting down to about 5.7. That's the target. We're going to see it slide under 6%. That's great news for the Feds. Now, we think the Feds are going to raise rates their next meeting, which is at the end of this month, beginning of February. They're probably going to raise it about another 0.25%, which is actually good, because if you look at the Fed's fund rate, which is about 4.25%, 4.5%, they have come out and told us that their terminal rate, which is the final rate that they think we will hit, is about 5.1. So they're pretty close to the top rate that they anticipate that they want to hit. Well, if they raise it 1/4 to 1/2, they're going to be very close to that cap, right? Which tells us the end is in sight for us in terms of them raising rates. Now, once this inflation number comes out tomorrow, we're going to see a positive response in the bond market, and we're going to see rates continue to slide. Even though they've been volatile over the last few weeks, we're going to see them start to slide and then gradually slide throughout 2023. That's great news for you guys, because once we get into the 5s, we're going to see sellers probably be willing to put their properties on the market, which would be good for inventory, right? We're going to see buyers who are going to be able to afford a little bit more, who are going to know the direction of interest rates over the next 12+ months are going to continue to slide. They better get into a property now so that they can refinance those properties in 12 to 18 months into the 4s, maybe even sub 4% somewhere in 2024, right? Just like everyone in their family bought a home, who's advising them along with you, who's told them, wait for interest rates to go down and then buy, right? That's probably what you guys hear all the time. That's the wrong strategy.
Yeah.
The person who's telling them to do that bought a property at a 5.5 or 6.5% rate some 10+ years ago, right? And then what did they do? They bought with that rate, and then they refinanced into 4, actually 5, and then 4, and then 3%. I know that because I refinanced at 5, 4, and then 3, right? And they're in a great position now. But the only reason why they could get in that position is because they bought the property, and then they let the rates come down. So I'm here to tell you, the market rates are going to come down. They will be in the 5s. They will continue to slide down into the low 5s. I just got off a webinar with a guru in the bond market, and he's calling for this to happen within 6 months, 6 to 9 months. I think it's a little longer than that, but that's great forecast information for us because we know the direction of the market. So I really think this is going to be a fabulous year. It's great to see folks out there hitting the streets, making you guys hit the streets, doing the marketing that you need to lead generation. It reminds me of a Netflix thing I'm watching right now, which is Last Chance U, the coach, because he's on you, right? This is your last chance kind of thing. But it's not our last chance. It's just another great chance for us. So with that, at the end of last year, I put on a seminar for you guys, the training for the buy downs that you guys thought was good information. Well, we want to get that out to the consumer. So what I want to do is do first time, not really a first time home buyer seminar, but like a 2-1 buy down seminar for your consumers to bring them in here. The last one we did back in October, I think we had like 80 people here. It was crazy. This place was packed. So I want to have the same kind of turnout. So we'll plan it in February. The next meeting, I'll have a date for you so that we can get out all the flyers and the marketing material for you guys so that we can get the information out to the streets and get the people in here and have a great seminar. Okay. Other than that, I'm done. I'm going to get off this thing, but I think 23 is going to be a great year for you guys. I'll take that.
Thank you, Chris. If you can come up here and introduce us to our guest, speaker. Awesome.
Hello.
You gotta speak loud and
Yes.
proud.
Afternoon, everyone. I was gonna say good morning. I just came in from Phoenix, Arizona, and yes, 72 sold, did very well there. I am licensed in Arizona. So if you have anybody wanting to buy properties, send them to me, get a referral fee. A lot of activity there, but 72 sold did amazing there. So I can vouch for that. I am the director of the Trust and Probate Division, and what I'm here to talk about is stimulating business for yourself, right? Trust and probate, unfortunately, is something that happens. Death and taxes will happen no matter what the market is. And when I have speakers come to speak, the reason I'm bringing them in is so you have something to post on social media instead of saying, do you want to sell your house? hey, do you need someone to clean out your parents' home that moved to hospice? Do you need someone to organize you? Because there's something going on in a house. Now, when they private message you, whether it's Instagram or Facebook, you can now have a conversation. Hey, what's going on? Right? Then you can build a rapport with them. And this is why the speakers are very important for you to use as a tool to get real estate business. It's really, really, really cool way to do it and being very subtle about it and helpful to them. And if anybody wants to engage in trust and probate, reach out to me anytime. We have Regina Lark from Clear Path Solutions, and she is amazing. She's going to show you a good time today also. So she's awesome, she's funny, and she's great at what she does. Thank you.
Right. Yeah, come in.
Something real quick to what Dana said. Come on, Regina, come on in. Come on.
Regina, come on up.
So unbeknownst to us, Jennifer Goldstein, myself, that Mina has a relationship with Regina. And I wanted to let you guys know that we do too, long term. Jennifer has a separate company called the Senior Empowerment Gurus. So she works with a lot of the probate and downsizing, and Regina's our best friend, and all of our clients love her. So I just wanted to add that. She does an amazing job at a much more affordable rate than any of her competitors. You will love her. Thanks.
Yay! Thank you.
Thank
Yes.
You have to, you want anything?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Hi, everybody. I'm so glad to be here today. I have a lot to share, but I like to just set a tone and uplift the room, not like you're not uplifted already. And pre-COVID, I spent a lot of time on the freeway and I made up songs about clutter. So here's one. Imagine there's no clutter. It isn't hard to do. No need for too much. A little bit is cool. Come on, imagine kitchen counters with just a bowl of fruit. Ooh, thank you very much. Okay, now, let's have some fun. My name is Regina Lark. My company is a Clear Path, not Clear Solutions. That's my competitor. We don't talk about them. Actually, I don't have competition. There's so much work around here, but it's just funny that you put solutions in this.
Oh, I'm just sorry.
That's okay. We'll talk afterwards. Okay. Plus, you're a mom of twins, and I totally get it. So my company is a Clear Path. I started 14 years ago after I was laid off from a job at UCLA. I had finished a PhD in history and women's studies, and now the PhD stands for Piled Higher and Deeper. And when I was, the week before I was laid off from my job at UCLA in 2008, the week before I was laid off, I had gone to Jerusalem to visit a very good friend of mine. And while I was there, I said, Nader, I don't want to be a tourist. How about if I do your kitchen? She goes, Habibi, what does that mean? I'm going, Nader, the girls are in their 30s. You got sippy cups in the cupboard. Just let me do what I do. So I did what I did. It was a good result. We decluttered and organized her kitchen. I get back to my desk at UCLA, and 1 week later, my unit was dismantled. My position was eliminated. The goddess of jobs had just done for me what I could not do for myself. And I was out of work, and it was the beginning of the recession. And 2 months into it, I said to Ronnie, my roomie, I'm going to organize until something better comes along, and nothing has. And it's just been an amazing journey. When I decided that this was, well, when I said I want to be an organizer, we looked up organizers in the zip code, and the first person to come up was Catherine Macy. And I'm reading her website, and she's got a PhD in mechanical engineering. I'm like, oh, organizers are smart people. And Catherine knew my roommate, called her up. Roommate called her up. We walked to her house for dinner. She invited us, she told me everything. On the walk, I looked down an alley and I said, Ronnie, if I'm going to have a business, it needs to start with the letter A, because someday we'll go back to the Yellow Pages. And I said, a clear path. And that's, and I love the name of my company, because that's what we do. We clear the path. I employ 13 ninja organizers, and we cover all of LA and Orange County. And the work that we do is meaningful and plentiful. There's so much work out there. And then for our purposes here today, did anybody see the, I don't know if it was the LA Times or the New York Times article this morning about the ginormous wave of new baby boomers that are giving up work. They are actually starting to retire at late 60s, in their 70s. So there's a whole lot of movement and activity and transition going on. I am right now hiring an outside sales marketing person because I am very clear that where I want to put my energies, or who I want the new hire to put their energies, is the sales and marketing teams at the assisted living communities. The assisted living communities are trying to fill their rooms with the homes that you just are, you need to sell and I need to clear. So there's a really great symbiosis happening in the Southland right now. I think it's huge because they're building the assisted living communities, and I refer to them as the communities. I'm an accredited senior move management company. The money that's going into developing and building these communities is tremendous. To live there, it's anywhere from $5,000 to $25,000 a month. So they're targeting the high net worth individuals, the houses that they've been in for 50 years that have so much equity right now. I mean, there's, I was just thinking of Fred and whoever the mortgage guy. Chris, I'm positioning myself to get ready for what was confirmed to me in the paper today. And I think it's huge. The communities are everywhere. Just Google assisted living and they're places that you want to live someday. I mean, they're stunning and beautiful and there's a lot of them. So that tells me that somebody on their end is doing their research and knowing what's available in our communities. So there's that. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about my business, but I also want to answer any of your questions. I am somebody who works with folks with chronic disorganization. So a lot of our clients, if they're not moving, if they are moving, they are born with a brain type that they've never really been able to get their shit together. And they have terrible time management skills and terribly emotional, the ubiquity of public storage. It's the land of emotional mismanagement. It's the land of, I think I may need this someday. It's the land of, oh, look at who gave that to me. How can I ever let it go? So those are our clients. And so anything you want to ask me. So a clear path does 5 or 7 things really, really well. You can't keep up. We're expert at hoarding remediation. So when you walk into a property and you're just like, oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like this before. Floor to ceiling, end to end. Has anybody ever seen something like this? Yeah. What was your first?
Well, I've had a few of them, you know, throughout my career. You know, probably my most memorable one. I had a big house, and it had a big double door entry right there, and sitting in there was a car engine. Okay, amongst the hoarded home.
Is there anything unusual about that?
You know, yeah, you don't have a car engine in your.
Funny you should mention that, because one of the more famous stories about people with hoarding disorder comes out of New York City in the 1940s, and it's the story about the Collier brothers. And rumor had it that there was a Model A Ford in the living room. And when they excavated the 120 tons from the house after the 2 men had been found mummified in the space, gone a long time, they did prove that rumor true. There was a Model A Ford in 1947. So yeah, people acquire and collect and hold on to all kinds of things. And these spaces, so what I want to reassure you that when you knock on the door, and if it's a really crowded door, you just hear a thud. You won't hear a knock echo, right? When you're driving by and you see the drapes pushed up against the window, trouble in paradise. And so you can rest assured that, you know, I've had agents tell me over many years, they're door knocking and the person opens the door and they say, I'd love to sell, but look at this. You know someone who can help them take care of it. And we will get paid out of escrow. A lot of these properties, there's no cash in the estate. There's no cash period. And if I have a relationship with the agent, with Mina, I worked with Jennifer and Michelle, and we've done jobs where I just wait to get paid. And now what I'm also seeing is that sometimes families don't have their I's dotted and their T's crossed. And so we are going into probate. So I've learned some valuable lessons about accepting fees out of escrow and then finding we are now in probate. And I'm not getting paid for 6 to 8 months. Y'all are not getting paid for 6 to 8 months. And so we just work together on making that happen. I want my team paid. I want the dumpsters taken care of. I want the packing materials paid. And I'm cool, I can wait. So I will work with you any way your client needs to work with you, yeah.
So when you have a particular client that has both, maybe a lot of trash, but then they have beautiful stuff that need to be sold. How do you work on that, and how do you advertise it in any media?
Great, so that was the perfect way to ask the question. Here's your money to pay. No, thank you for bringing that up. About 5 years ago, we brought into our list of services what is called the Max Sold Online Estate Sale Auctions. Google it, it's amazing. It's a Canadian company with a really robust platform here. So this is how it works for a clear path. We've done over 100 of these, and what a game changer for my business. So they're moving, and we're moving somebody into assisted living, and they can only take this much stuff. So we're moving them from 3,000 square feet to 400 square feet. We get them packed, unpacked, organized, their new place looks good. Then the Ninja organizers go back to the house, and a team of 3 will catalog the contents of the house for 1 to 3 days is typical. Sometimes the volume is great, and it's more than 3 days. We did an estate sale in Tarzana these last couple of months, and we did the volume was so great that we did 2 sales, two-day sales. It was almost an acre of stuff. I got chills. So the team of 3 will go in and catalog the contents of the house. In my company, a team of 3 is $2,200, and it's an 8-hour day. So right off the bat, typical cataloging will be $6,600. And everything gets, we create hundreds of lots. So if we have a bookcase, the bookcase itself is 1 lot. And then the stuff on each shelf becomes another lot. So we create hundreds of lots. Bathroom counter groupings, the tissue box, the whatever, that's 1 lot. Bags of tennis clothes is a lot. We can sell everything. We tell people don't donate because we'll sell everything because people buy everything. It's just crazy. Pool tables, baby grand pianos, whatever. Here's the thing. Everything, so once the catalog is done, we we upload it and we send it to the family saying, are you sure you want to sell everything? And they go, let it rip. And then the auction goes live for 10 days. Here's the thing. Each lot starts at $1. So our clients come close, break even, or make money, but they mitigate the cost of the clear out. And we keep stuff out of the city dumpsters, and people's stuff get new life. And whatever didn't get sold, at the end of all this, so back up a moment. Sometimes no one bid on anything. Sometimes there's stuff that didn't get bid on. So my team is instructed to go through the house, pull the things that didn't get a bid, put it toward the front of the house with a big sign saying make an offer, because it's really fun to also hand the client a wad of cash. So people, well, I'll give you $2 for that, sold. So then the auction is over, back up, $2,200 a day to catalog. And then we schedule 1 or 2 day pickups. So when the auction closes, whoever won their item, and they usually buy more than 1 item, whoever won their item, they get an email saying you won, here's the link to pay. And then the next email is here's the day, time, and address to show up to pick up your stuff. The ninjas are back at the house for 1 or 2 days for the pickup, $750 a day. It's fully staffed. And I have, so the people come up, they show that their receipt, and the team member escorts them to their item. We don't touch it. We don't want to break it because then they won't take it. And so it's just this big movement for 2 days. At the end of all that, Richard, our hauler, will come by and he'll pick up anything that wasn't sold and we'll donate it to the nearest nonprofit. And this is an opportunity for Richard to pull everything from the rafters of the garage and paint waste and e-waste. We get rid of all of that. We can get it deeper, broom clean for you, and then it's yours. So when we do the auctions, we need about 3 weeks. 1 to 3 days to catalog if it's a typical scenario, 10 days for the auction, 2 days for the pickup, and then it's yours. Go to maxsold.com. You can find some amazing stuff, but don't overshop if you don't need it. Did I answer your question? Do you have another one?
Oh, yeah, you answered one of them. And then what about you have a client that is in the house, they will not leave until they buy another house. So you work with them while this happening?
Sure. Well, yes. Well, and that's not unusual. So if somebody knows that they're getting ready to move and they have it in their mindset and it's time, and they just have a lot of stuff that they feel that they have to go through, bring the ClearPath team in for a couple of days. We can also, if I'm good with the realtor, you don't even have to list it and I'll wait to get paid out of escrow, because sometimes you need the ninjas to get the house ready for the listing, because sometimes it's really crowded in there. And, you know, a lot of people are dealing with these brain-based conditions and they just don't know how to activate getting it done on their own. And when you hear somebody say, well, I just have to clean it up. It's probably not going to happen, because if that was a skill that came easy to them, it wouldn't look the way it looks right now. So I get asked a lot, what you see a big bunch of clutter and you don't want to insult anybody, and you want to treat their stuff kindly, gently, and lovingly. And so what to say? You ever thought, you know, it sounds like you want to move. Do you think you'll need some help packing? Yeah?
Suggestion.
Go ahead.
If they get a pod, say, hey, why don't we put everything in a pod? So this way they've executed getting it out of the house. Then you can take it to the next level, hire someone like you to go through things in the pod. At least you've cleared out the house, so they haven't totally, they'll be better with it because they haven't gotten rid of it yet. It's still in their possession. Is that something that you suggest?
I suggest whatever works.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that is a, sure. Sometimes we're bringing stuff into storage. Sometimes the thing about storage in the pod, if they're having a hard time activating in their house, they may incur the expense of the storage unit or the pod for the remainder of their life. And I'm not kidding, because I mean, putting stuff into storage is so easy, getting it out, because they make it easy. We'll give you a truck, you know, month free. And I work with a lot of people with hoarding disorder, and their storage is decades. So I'm more of a proponent of trying to deal with it head on than because it's their house, it's their life. I know we want the sale. I want the sale, but we just have to wait. Yeah.
I imagine it's a different tactic or the relationship that you have with the person is different if they're still in the house. Do you send less people in for a longer period of time so that it's more gradual for the person? Whatever
they could bear. Okay. You know, sometimes folks just like, oh, I can't have that many people around me. So I'm very flexible, and whatever they need, I want to be able to, I want to meet, just like you, we just want to meet our clients where they live, emotionally, cognitively, visually, personally. I mean, that's what we do, right? We got to make people feel safe and comfortable with us. So And if they want one organizer, it's gonna cost a fortune, which I also let them know. We do household inventories. We're tasked a lot with doing household inventories. We work with a lot of private professional fiduciaries, bank trust officers. And so we're asked to inventory the contents of the house. Then we'll do a max sold. And then we'll, or some of the stuff that we're inventorying is not worth a max sold. That's the other part. I can walk into a house and help them decide, is doing a sale, is doing a max sold really good for the estate, for the family? Maybe the stuff is just so dated and really nobody wants to buy big, heavy oak furniture anymore. Sometimes we'll just suggest a total clear out. And yeah.
Do you do on the small scale, like garage cleanouts and
Sure.
things like that?
Sure.
And what's the cost of that?
Team of 2 is $1,600 a day. Team of 3 is $2,200 a day. And I never met a garage I didn't like. What else can I tell you? We're a lot of fun, full service. Would love to earn your business. Would love to be top of mind. And I do a lot of speaking. I am an author, and so one of my books. So I want to raffle these off, and I don't know how to do that. So if you want to pass up your business cards, and I'll pull one. Nobody has business cards.
Right. You can write it down on a scratch paper.
Write it down on a piece of paper.
I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
So what is the worst thing you've seen in your business?
No judgment.
Okay.
You know, I can say that we are now able to advertise. I now say we can advertise compassionate removal of possums.
Interesting.
They showed up in a job. We were in a job in Garden Grove, and it was we filled 21 40-yard dumpsters. It was a triplex. 3 2-bedroom apartments, and each had a small garage, and there was a breezeway, and 21 dumpsters. And we had such skilled dumpster drivers that they pulled up right next to the house. The team was throwing the shit in, and they pulled back, and then the next one came up. So one day, David, my team member, he was moving a box, and there was a mama possum with babies on her chest, and she's like, psst. So David didn't flinch. He just picked up all the crap around her and brought her out to the field across the street. So one of these days I'm going to put compassionate removal of possums. Other questions? So my book, this one book is called Psychic Debris, Crowded Closets, the relationship between the stuff in your head and what's under your bed. I have 2 of those for you. And then the other one is called Emotional Labor, Why a Woman's Work is Never Done and What to Do About It. I know. And I'm doing a TED Talk on it next Saturday.
Right.
No bras required. I can give it to you right now. A man can work from sun to sun, but a woman's work is never done. That poem is 125 years old. And for me, it brings up questions like, what is women's work? Why the heck is it never done? And who decided work has a gender? We go on for 11 more minutes.
Ready?
Ready.
All right.
So this is for Psychic Debris 1. For Heather Tanada.
Yay!
Well, it's not Heather.
The mom.
IBNA.
Actually, one today, so that's great.
And next is Tammy Fisher.
Tammy!
You're welcome.
One more?
And if you don't need it, give it away. Don't keep it if you don't need it. Yes. And yes, the final one is Christine Goldruck. Yay! I'm here to answer any questions for like 3 minutes. And then it was great meeting you, and eat pizza. Please eat pizza, and have a good rest of the year. And it's very successful and productive 2023. Thank you.
A lot of information. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mina, for the introduction.
Oh, yeah, and thank you, Nina, for bringing me here.
Thanks, Mina. All right, team. I promise we'll try to finish before 1 o'clock. So upcoming events. So this is really cool. I was at the Long Beach team meeting yesterday, and Hallie was talking about this KW Maps coaching, the ultimate 38,000 giveaway. So if you register, here's what you could win: a $5,000 cash check, 1 year free of Maps Mastery coaching, free entry to family reunion and reserve upfront general session setting, free entry to Gary Family Reunion Summit, and then a free entry to Mega Agent Camp, Masterminds and Fall Masterminds, and then you get a free cyber bag for 1 year. Okay, all you have to do is just register, meet with a Maps coach for a consulting 30-minute session, and that's it. You're in the drawing. So
that says today from 11, starting at 10.
Starting at
10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Oh, it's day the 11th. Oh gosh, okay. So yeah, unfortunately, yeah, today's the 11th, right?
Yep.
Oh, bummer. Sorry. What can I say? Next slide. All right, next slide. That would have been exciting, right? Well, you know what? You can still take advantage. If you're interested, they still do provide a 30-minute consultation just to kind of get a feel for coaching. You know, it's not a commitment, but it is a commitment, you know, to really double up on your production. We can send you the link and you can speak with a Maps coach and get a free session for that, okay? So unfortunately, you're not going to be part of that drawing, but, you know, who wouldn't want to double up on their production and sales, right? Especially this year. All right, next real estate live meeting. This will be this Thursday, January 12th from 10 to 11. Oscar is the CAR senior economist. You know, very dry material indeed, but very valuable, especially in our industry. So please, if you can join us, that's tomorrow, 10 to 11. Next slide.
Zoom, right?
It's on Zoom, yes.
Will it be recorded as well?
Yes, yeah, it'll be recorded.
Thank you.
Okay, next slide. All right, contract class, next Tuesday, understanding option contracts. Does anyone know what options is other than Steve and Bob? Well, if you don't know, please come on in. It'll be here in the training room. I will have it on Zoom and it will be recorded as well. It's a great topic to talk about, and more so the opportunities that you can incur with options. So Tuesday, January 17, 2 to 3. Next slide. And then we have our KW Headshot Day. That's Thursday, January 19, 12 to 2 p.m. $55, 10-minute sections, 1 look, 1 outdoor location, 3 edits, and deliver within 1 week. Awesome. I know, right?
I did it.
All right, next slide. All right, just the quick broker update. So how many of you know paragraph 3G3?
Oh, yeah.
Paragraph 3G3.
I have it memorized.
Okay. What is it?
About the price of tea in China.
I think it's the low. I think it's not the interest rate cap.
No.
Three.
Steve, strike 1. Anyone else on the purchase agreement?
Right.
Residential RPA.
1 is
Paragraph 3, G as in George. 3.
Grid. Just so you know, 3 is all the grid.
3 is grid.
That's part of the grid. Yes.
3G.
Yeah.
Steve, you know this,
Is
we
that-
talked about it in our session.
Well.
Must be the broker, the seller, the buyer requesting of the seller of the obligation.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Let me share my computer real quick and see if I can populated, so.
Inspections? No.
All right, so,
Oh,
3, G as in George, 3 talks about section 18, seller agrees to pay the obligation of buyer to compensate buyer's broker under a separate agreement, form SPBB, seller broker offer, if any, to compensate the buyer's broker is in effect unless otherwise agreed upon. Okay. So this is a new language that was added December of last year, well, last month actually. And the reason I want to bring it because there's a lot of confusion over this language. And I was tossing back and forth on it because some of the forms had it, some of the forms didn't have it. And it was Chris from the A team that we were back and forth on this particular paragraph. But I want to give you a concise, quick synopsis what this is. And Steve, if you can also share with your opinion what this is. So, take it away. What do you think this language is?
well, I think it's CAR's definite way of now finally poking their nose into agents, almost their commissions being part of the transaction. I don't like that they've done this.
Correct.
But the fact that it's there, we now have to deal with it.
Right.
Okay. And this clause is a clause in the contract that it's only applicable first and foremost if the box is checked. Okay, if the box is not checked, when the box being seller agrees to pay for buyer's obligation to compensate the buyer's broker. So in order for it being that clause to be applicable in the first place, first, the buyer's agent, has to have a buyer's broker agreement in place. And the compensation portion of that agreement has to be where the buyer is agreeing to compensate their buyer's broker X%. Now, where agents and especially listing agents have to really pay attention, not as though they didn't have to pay attention prior to this clause being added to the contract, but with regards to this, is that if in the event with it that the contract is submitted with this box being checked, just by having the box being checked by itself doesn't make the clause applicable. Because in order to make it applicable, the buyer also has to have a signed form SPBB, seller paying buyer's broker obligation. Now, and it's this part right now, what I'm about to say is where you really have to end up having your eyes open. Because if you don't pay attention and you just have your seller just sign the forms, if the rest of the offer appears to be acceptable, that form could have a higher commission rate on it than what you and the seller, you as a listing agent and the seller are offering the buyer's agent. So as an example, if you as the listing agent and seller are offering a 2.5% selling office commission, but yet now on this form, it is now reflecting that the buyer's obligation to the buyer's agent is 3%, and it is not paid attention, referring to countered back out, and the seller agrees to it, referring to by signing the form. In essence, not in essence, but in the reality, the seller has now agreed to pay a 3% commission and then your commission at 2.5%. Now, if you only took a 5% listing and said, I'm only taking the listing at 5%, you've now obligated your seller contractually to a 5.5% commission. So if that were to take place, and your seller now realizes, I'm now contractually on the hook for 5.5%, yet we really didn't have that discussion on the front end, and yet now I'm contractually obligated, who in the world do you think is going to end up paying that 0.5% differential?
Listing agent.
Listing agent. So instead of you making 2.5%, you're now only going to make 2%, and the buyer's agent's company is now going to make 3%. So there's a lot to it with regards to this, because what this also is not, it's not as though the buyer's agent or the buyer is going to end up paying the buyer's agent a separate commission. And then the buyer's agent also gets a commission from the seller. Remember, on the agreement, the buyer's obligation is only up to the extent of what the buyer's agent has not been compensated for from the listing side. So at that point, if a buyer agrees to compensate a buyer's agent at a 3% rate, and the commission being paid is 2.5%, a buyer's obligation over and beyond out of pocket is only 0.5% out of pocket to be able to pay to the buyer's agent. Now, when you're the listing agent and you now see it and you now see 3% or a commission different than what is being offered, you as the listing agent should be having dialogue with your seller to be able to counter offer it if the commission is not acceptable to the seller of their willingness to pay.
Is there a reason why they added this?
I have no idea.
This is like really.
It's
like,
ridiculous. It is ridiculous because commissions never, but commission between agent and buyers and listing were never part of the contract. And the way they wrote it, it's still not, because it's only talking about CAR. The CAR.
This is part of CAR. So
I have two questions.
Yes, sir.
So first off, can the buyer agent sign the contract with the buyer 4%? And then follow up on that, once you see it on the contract, can you ask for a copy of that contract between the buyer agent and buyer?
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. A buyer, well, and trust me, when I saw this come out, that's when I said, hey, first of all, over these years, I've been very lax at using buyer broker agreements. Now having this language in the contract and this form available, okay, has now given me impetus to start using buyer broker agreements again, and B, using form SPVB. Guess what? My rate is going to be at 3% now as my standard, maybe even 4%, okay, and be able to, plain and simple, use the words, and I'm using this phrase, capitalizing on many listing agents' lack of knowledge and paying attention.
Wow. So if it says on the MLS that there's a 5% out there, and
if it's 2.5%, but the buyer's agent emphasized a 3% on the buyer representation agreement.
but
Remember,
we don't see that.
well, no, that's why they added this information.
So if I'm a buyer's agent, I can have an agreement with obviously the buyer, which hardly anyone does that, right? But now we can say on there, we can sign that they can use us as a buyer's agent, and that we can get, even though it says 2.5%, we can write down 3%. The listing agent has to pay.
Correct.
Well, understand, guys, what this now has done, prior to this clause, we as listing agents should have always been able to pay attention of all the contents within the contract that our sellers were going to be signing. Now, though, if one still were not to pay attention, because now there is now an additional form that before, when you didn't pay attention, potentially could only cost your seller, and there wasn't any dialogue of, but you said, okay. Here, though, if you end up having your seller end up signing a form, this SPVB form, that is higher than the commission that is then being offered, you know, and no one pays attention to what what was being signed until then finally it's reared its head. Then plain and simple, your seller now says, but you said I'm only going to, you took the listing on 5%, and you just say I was going to pay a 5.5%.
So we ask the buyer's agents if there is a buyer broker agreement between them.
Well, if you check that, then your assumption is that there is a buyer rep.
Well,
you're only going to add the check mark if the buyer's agent has. You're not going to check this if you don't have a buyer rep.
Right.
Okay.
Point of order, because I'm just letting you know that I train all of our agents and the one in real estate school that every buyer that you work with needs a buyer broker agreement.
Yeah, I agree.
So I know we're saying these are things that aren't done, but yes, they are being done now. They're being trained.
Yeah.
Make sure they have a buyer broker.
Right,
Well-
but the big one is when, the biggest one is not so much the use or the lack of use of a buyer broker agreement. Where one could get into the most trouble is when you're the listing agent. Okay, is when you are the listing agent and when one does not pay attention. Okay, again, just the fact that in the contract by having that box checked by itself, in and of itself, does not make it valid.
So we have to.
By having it checked,
For
we gotta
instance,
make sure.
there's an offer that I'll probably make today that's at a 2% on the MLS. I can create a buyer broker agreement and then add the SBDP, whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
Right,
Right.
say 2.5%.
Correct.
If the listing agent does not see that and they accept the offer and we go in there, I'm getting paid 2.5%.
Yes.
Okay, the seller's gonna say, wait a minute, I only agreed to this amount. And the only reason why I probably won't do it this time is because I know the agent, I don't want to ruin that relationship. But usually you'll burn your bridges if you do that.
Yeah.
Listing agent, no.
I will tell you exactly how it goes.
Because the escrow has to go by the documents that they get.
If a listing agent.
Oh, I see.
Because
So,
when a listing,
to tell you.
if the listing agent, let's just use Fred's example here for one moment, okay? Fred writes up the 2.5 when it's being offered to, offers accepted, listing agent opens up escrow. Listing agent opens up escrow thinking it's a 4% total commission, 2%. Draft commissions come over to the buyer's agent, okay, and then now says 2%. Fred now goes to the listing, goes to the escrow officer, I have a signed form here, okay, signed by the seller, acknowledging Keller Williams South Bay gets 2.5%.
Wouldn't that be in the beginning of the transaction?
Well, that's where you negotiate.
It's the listing, the form was signed, the form was now signed.
All right, timeout. All right, it's 1:15. This is, again, this is a great conversation. And the importance of understanding, I didn't think it was going to go this lengthy, but I should have known Steve is here. So, so we're going to table that for now. We're going to table that for now because I want to respect your time. But again, if you have any questions, by all means, please reach out to me. Steve is also a great resource. Reach out to him. Yeah.
About the buyers.
So,
You'd be surprised how many agents are trying to.
yeah, there's a lot of people that do. All right, team. That concludes our team meeting. So thank you very much. Appreciate you all. Thank you.
We talk about it more.
Yeah.